Hey, Seeker. I'm not sure yet what the message is. I just felt guided to press play, knowing that a message is coming through. So I'm going to trust that and have the camera on for when, if it actually happens. So for the seeker who needs to hear this, or seekers who need to hear it, of course, keep in mind this is not for everyone. So be discerning. No one knows you, your path, your dharma better than you do. At the very least, deep down inside. Not even me. No one. So trust your heart, trust your wisdom. Take what I say. Know that I come with love, but that I'm also human and I have my own screening processes, some that I'm conscientious to and some that I'm not, which is why it's always with me and with anyone. It's important to listen to advice, listen to guidance, but have it included and integrated with yours. And you get to decide. Also, the important thing to say is in relation to that, even if you're wrong, even if your internal compass is a little off, even if your intuition is skewed by either fear or desire, um, so we get to make mistakes. We get to learn from those mistakes, and it's part of the experience. Not every mistake is a mistake. Sometimes, in retrospect, you recognize that what was seemingly technically a mistake kind of led you in a really bright direction. So even if you're wrong, you might be right. And even if I'm right, I might be wrong. Okay, this is getting super philosophical and endless. So let's just thank you, Spirit. Whatever message needs to come through, please, for the seekers who need to hear it. Relax your shoulders. You're very tense. It's not to say that you can't be tense, but sometimes when we can't do the work from inside out, then we do the work from the outside in. Our physicality, our body movement, our way of speech can really, from the outside in, affect our inside, our chemicals. Like even when we force a smile, it sends endorphins, chemicals that actually create happiness. So this is where fake it until you make it can actually apply, even scientifically. Sorry, I just wanted to fix my necklaces. It's my pet peeve to have like the uh, where you close and open it, like right here. I forget how you call it. So relax your shoulders. The best way to do it is you can force like this, and then it helps. Arch your back. You're taller than what you're making it out to look like. You are taller than people's perception of you, and people's perception of you is skewed by your insecurity that you echo. Okay. I need to also remind myself to relax my own shoulders. Let's do this. Cute. Being hurt by people's misconceptions of you is very legitimate and very human. You don't need to tell yourself that. I mean, even though it might be true, people's perception of you isn't you and it's not personal, it's them projecting themselves onto you, and it shouldn't have to hurt you, and it's a choice. You still have your biological mechanism and human tendencies that are good to have. It's not something you need to fight or overcome or ascend through or suppress. You're here in this realm for a reason. Your soul chose to go through this experience. And if you didn't choose, if it's like a result of karma that you need to play out in another lifetime, still it's a result of past actions. So in a way, it is a choice. But we have this mechanism, right? And so shaming ourselves or feeling guilty for feeling and living by the mechanism under which we get to experience this life. It's kind of funny. It's like signing up to school and then being really upset for having to attend class. Your attendance of class is you feeling how you feel in a human way. So even if people's gossip about you or people's misconceptions and slander and negative judgments, even if it's about them and not about you, it's still very hurtful and still affects you, right? It affects your process, it affects your path, it can sabotage, it can slow down. Um, so acting like it doesn't matter or like you don't care, it's dishonest because it does matter because you do care. Some might say nothing matters because life is short. I would say everything matters because life is short. And everything breathes and everything has a frequency and a sound and a color and a character, and everything is an aspect of divinity. So everything matters. Your heart matters. You're feeling hurt by something that someone else does to you, whether they're mean to or not, whether they're correct or not. It matters. You matter. You get to say no. It doesn't make you less humble. It doesn't make you less wise. It doesn't make you less open to criticism. Um, it doesn't make you less self observing. Sometimes you're the wise one. Sometimes you're the one in the right. Sometimes you're the one who's being wronged. And it's always very important to look at ourselves and consider our part, of course, and where we can do better and where we contribute to a situation. But it doesn't negate seeing what the others contribute, good or bad, what others' responsibilities are, faults, wrongdoings. If everyone matters, but you don't, then everyone doesn't matter. As soon as you exclude yourself from that equation, you don't actually authentically believe it. If you authentically believe that everyone is a Buddha, then you're a Buddha. And if you can't kill a Buddha, you can't kill your Buddha, your inner one. You can't gaslight yourself. You can't diminish yourself. You can't suppress yourself. You can't put yourself last on the list of everything, because that means you're putting a Buddha last on the list of everything. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Will it stay stuck or will it come out? Damn it. Oh, goodness. Oh, thank you. If you said bless you. You know what? Thank you in general. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the trust. I appreciate the support. Namaste. It means the God in me sees the God in you, or the Buddha in me sees the Buddha in you. That's the literal meaning of namaste. There was something else I was going to say. I will come back if it's important. It will come back if it's important. There it is. Because of the notion of karma, cause and effect, we might fall into a place where we think everything that happens is a result of something. So everything uh, that is negative that is happening to us must be a result of something that we've done, either in this life or in a past life. It's true to a great deal of extent. Um, it allows us to be more accountable, to have more ease and less frustration with life, and It allows us to not be upset over the injustices of life. If something negative happens to us, and it puts us in a place where we're like, no, it actually is balance, it is justice, because it's a consequence or a result of something that I've done. The injustice begins to feel like justice. And again, there's a lot of truth to it, but sometimes it's just being used so that we don't have to consider the actual bad things that happen in life. No, it's not bad. No, it's not evil. No, they don't mean it. No, they're just, it's just what their impulse, right? They have to do it as messengers of karma. I deserve it. Again, sometimes you do deserve it. No victim blaming here, meaning like in lieu of cause and effect, right? So let's break this down just so that I can make my point, get my point across. Cause and effect. There is chronological order. One thing needs to happen for the other to happen. In order for the tree to grow, the seed needs to be planted, not the other way around. You don't plant the tree to grow a seed. The cause, something that was done, creates the effect, a boomerang return, a boomerang effect, right? So sometimes you're on this side, you have done something, you're the cause, and then something that is happening to you is the boomerang effect, the effect, the cause, the karma, the karmic result. But sometimes you're just here, regardless of cause and effect, you just exist. And then the cause initiate hurting you. To that, there will be an effect. To that, there will be a boomerang effect. To that, there will be a consequences. To that, there will be a karmic result. But initially, it did something in order to gain the karmic result. And you, what did you do? You just existed there. It had to start somewhere. Even the circle started somewhere. Interesting. So sometimes when someone does something to you, it's somehow karma. You deserve it. Sometimes they're just doing something to you. They're not enacting an existing karmic cycle. They are initiating, creating a new karmic entanglement. And when you just assume automatically that you have a fault there, that they're just on an energetic impulse giving you what you've earned, right? Then you don't resist it and you don't stop it. You sustain the will by saying, oh, I deserve it. And then they actively created an added karmic entanglement to an already super entangled existence for us here. And you, in action as an action, enable that and give it wind and fuel that and feed that by giving it validation. As opposed to being like, whoa, oh, no. So now you're probably like, well, how do I know? Two ways to deal with it. One of the characteristics of the Buddha was freedom of forgetfulness. When we remember our past lifetimes, when we remember our present life past, we're able to recognize when something is a karmic result of something that we did because we remember things that we've done, versus what is a new initiated karma, something that is blocking your dharma because we remember. So, working on remembering, working on consciousness, awareness, go to the dream space, meditate, astral project, do past life regression, so that you're able to recognize when, oh yeah, I know that I've done something similar like that before. Now I'm experiencing the resolve of it. I'm going to be graceful and humble and grateful for the opportunity to allow the cosmic equilibrium to regain balance. And I'm just going to let it, okay, being graceful in the face of karma versus, whoa, no, this is actually now how things are. They're initiating a new cycle of karmic entanglement. I should not blame myself. I should not shame myself. I should not hurt myself. I certainly should not lay over and play dead while calling itself humble. Which leads me to the second way of dealing with it. Even if you can't remember and you're having a challenging time going there, that's fine. So supernatural, totally natural. Even if it's karma, it's okay to say no when someone is hurting you. Because even if they are acting by from an energetic impulse that is guiding them to, you know, give you the karmic consequences of your past actions, they still have their own avatar, their own human mind and heart and body and ability to make a choice. They can choose to not be that messenger of karma. So either way, when you stand up to someone hurting you, being cruel to you, being evil to you, doing evil to you, whether it's your karma to accept it, whether it's your karma to have it happen to you or not, saying no to it is in service of either, will be in service of either options. It's a win-win. I'm not, don't misconstrue my words and refer to it as vengeance. Calling out something wrong, saying no, setting up a healthy boundary, explaining to someone in what way they're being hurtful to you or wrong or being wrong towards you. That's not vengeance. That's not aggression. That's self-defense. If you don't know how to differentiate between the two, this is something you want to work on because it's important. You can't gaslight people who self-defend themselves as aggressors. Only people who've never had to defend themselves, never had to fight for their life, don't really know the difference between self-defense and violence. It comes from a place of deep privilege. So good for you. I'm not being sarcastic. It's envious. But then you're not in a position to judge people who do know, uh, like persecuted people or people who've gone through something that puts them in a position where they have to defend themselves. You don't get to judge them for being allegedly aggressive. That's your interpretation that is coming from privilege, or other people's interpretation that is coming from their privilege that they project onto you, just so that if it's happening to you, so that you could be like, excuse you, you don't get to refer to me as aggressive when you've led a privileged life. If someone was never in a situation where they had to save their own life, they don't get to speak of it. Good for them, happy for them. May they always be in that state. May they never know that. May we all never have to know that. But then it means that they also, from that privilege, be grateful for that privilege, be aware that they have that privilege, and not think of themselves as in a position to judge anyone who doesn't have that privilege. Whenever people who never went through war preach about peace, it's like one of my biggest pet peeves and cringes. You don't know war, you don't know the importance of peace. You never went through war, you don't want peace more than people who went through war, trust me. And you don't understand peace more than people who actually went through war. Um, yeah, so I digress a little bit, but it still makes the point, you know? It still helps the point that I'm trying to make. It's like there's that question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The sperm. What do you mean? Neither of them, the sperm. So, yes, men are important because what came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither, the sperm. It's not to say that women aren't important, that females aren't important. They're just as important. There will be another example in which it's not this type, it's not this masculine, it's not that masculine, but it's the feminine that came first. It's depending, you know. Life is full of this and full of that. We're both important. Because I know someone will misconstrue it into like, you think only men are important and women are not. Stop. I'm just saying that correcting injustice with injustice isn't justice, it's vengeance. Okay? If in the name of uh, correcting millennia of oppression of women, you start oppressing men, how are you different? Oh, my friend. This is where we can, you know, look at ourselves. I'm just, you know, I'm happy that it circles back to it because I just want to clarify when I say that sometimes it's not your fault, sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. How do we know? Not gaslighting others and not gaslighting ourselves. Stay magic, stay true. I love you.